Now that you are comfortable using let, var and const, let's see the different data types that are available inside JavaScript. So in this video, we will be learning about primitive data types that are being used with few examples. So let's get started. Hey coders, this is Neha from Webstack. Welcome to the 5th episode of JavaScript series. Before getting started, if you like the content on this channel, please subscribe and make sure you hit the bell so that you don't miss any notifications from me. So, talking about data types, we will be only limited to primitive data types in this video, but I'll be making a separate video on the reference data type as well. So let's start with primitive data types. So basically in JavaScript, we have primitive data types called string, then we have number, then we have Boolean, null, undefined, and symbol. So these are the basic data types which we are basically using in our programs. But this data type like symbol is something new which has been added by ES6. So I'll not be covering this symbol. This is something which is related to the unique values. So I'll be creating a separate video on the symbols part because otherwise this video is going to be a little long. Going into data types, I would just like you to remember one thing that we have discussed in the introduction part. That is, JavaScript is also known as a loosely typed language. So what does that actually mean? Let me show you with an example that unlike any other languages that you use like C, C++, Java, you are always writing something like this. If you want to declare any variable, you needed to write int x or you needed to write char b or something like that. So in JavaScript, you really don't need to define these data types prior when you are just declaring or initializing the value. So that is why it is called a loosely typed language. So actually this is a very convenient method that you do not need to worry about the data type or anything. You just need to write the variable and put any kind of value you want inside that variable. Now let's check out the very first data type, that is string. So for string, I'll just take any constant variable, and in case you are not aware like whether to use let, var or const, you can just go and check out my video on this full comparison of these three keywords. I'll provide the link in the description box below. So here I'll be just declaring a variable called const name. Let's say I'm writing here for a course, like any courses you are enrolling in like Udemy or Coursera or any other website. Let's say the name of the course is JavaScript for beginners. So when I save this, automatically this name variable will be of like string type, and when I just print it, let's try to print it here, the name. And you can check out that yes, JavaScript for beginners is getting displayed in the console. But now let me just make some changes. If I just remove the string and I simply write a number here, as you can check out on my screen. So you can check that yes, this number is getting printed. So how can we make sure that it is a number or it is a string or what kind of data type actually it is? So to check that, what we can use is there is an operator in JavaScript that is called typeof, and when you simply just write that operator and you save it, it will tell you that the data type is string. So whatever you write in double quotes or if you are writing it in single quotes as well, doesn't matter whether you are writing number inside it or you are writing any characters, it will be treated as a string only. So even if I just write this number, it will be a string, and you can also use single quotes. So let's say I'm writing, hi, this is new course. So if I write this and I save it, it will still say me that it is a string. And let's just get rid of this once. And now you can check out that it is printing this statement. But what if I want to print double quotes or single quotes inside this very string? So for that, let me just show you. If I need to use double quotes in this new word, then it didn't give me any problem and it is getting printed here on the console. But now what just happened there? So if you are embedding it in single quotes, then anywhere in the sentence you can use double quotes anytime. But if you are using double quotes here, if you are embedding the string inside double quotes, then it will surely create a problem, because now it understands that this part is one string and this part embedded in the double quotes is the other part of the string. You can also see here that the color of this new word has been changed, and also here we are getting syntax error. So if you want to embed your string in double quotes and you want to print that double quotes also inside your string, then you can just escape the meaning of this double quote by just writing a backslash. So if I write backslash in front of this double quote, then everything is back to normal. So this is how you do it in JavaScript. And there are many manipulations that you can apply on string using certain methods in JavaScript. We will be discussing that in detail in a separate video. So let's move on to the next data type, that is called number. So in number data type, you can store any integer, or let me just show you here. If I'm writing const, let's say on that online course you want to know how many people liked it. So I want to check the number of likes here. So let me say the likes are 100. So when you write this number, it will automatically be getting stored as a number data type. So you're not providing any quotes here, any double quotes or single quotes. You are simply writing an integer or a number. So now if I try to print it, so let's try and print it out here. Let's say the likes, yes, it's giving me 100. And if I want to check the data type as well, just write here type of, and you can check that the type of is printing the data type as number. So you can just write 100 here, or you can also write in case you want to give a rating to that course. So you can give a 4.5 star rating here. So that means this 4 points, I just need to write here rating. So now you can check that it's still a number. So whether you define a decimal value, or you define a negative value, or you define a long number, it doesn't matter, because it's still a number and you can see it displayed on the browser as well. Let's check out the next data type, which is called Boolean. So it's a very useful data type that you use everywhere in your applications or in your websites. So whatever conditional statements you are having, like you are having if, else, so you need to apply there either true or false. So for that, we need Boolean value. So now for that example of online course, now I want to know whether you are logged in onto that website or not. So I'll simply write here const is logged in. So you can see here that I'm writing the variable name in some manner. So this is called camel casing actually, in which you write the variable name like this. You start it with a small letter. Let's say I want to know the name of course. So I'll write just name, and then of O will be capital, and then course C will be capital. So this is what is called as camel casing. And if you don't want to use that, you can also use underscore in between. So these are some naming conventions that you can use, and most often we will be using this camel casing only. And you can find it in all your projects as well. And avoid using this first letter as capital, because we do not generally prefer writing or starting the variable name with a capital letter. Now let's see if I write the value here is as true and I want to print it. So I'll just write console.log, and then I'll write is logged in. So now if I print it, you can see that here the value is coming as true. So I'll just write here type of and press save. So now you can check out the data type is Boolean as well. And now let's check that if I give here false, it will still say me Boolean, and this type of operator is really cool to use because it tells you all kind of data types that you are using. So this is what is Boolean in JavaScript, and we will be using it more often. Let's check out the next data type, that is called null, and also we have undefined. So these both data types are kind of same, you can say, but yes, it's very important to know what is actually the difference. So if I declare a variable with let, because for undefined, I'll just be writing a variable. So now let's say I don't know the discount yet, so I don't want to define it. So you can see that I didn't get any error. And if I want to just print this discount, so you can check that what value gets printed, it's saying undefined. And if I just check the data type of this one, so I'll just write type of discount, it's saying undefined. Now you can check that we have not defined this discount, we have just declared it. That means we have not defined anything inside it. We have not given any value, but it's still there, so it is giving me undefined. Now let's see what null data type is actually and how it is different from undefined. So if I declare a variable with null value, so let's say I'm declaring a variable with let keyword, and I write here, let's say let comment equals to null. So I don't have any comment right now on my online course, so I'll just write comment is equal to null, and if I try to print it, so let's see what gets printed in this comment. So now you can check out that it is printing null. So let's check out the data type for it. So I'll simply use type of operator, but here comes a twist that it will say the data type is object. So this is actually a kind of a bug in this type of operator for null. So it should have given us the null data type, but it is actually giving us object. So this is nothing but a kind of bug, you can say, or a error in JavaScript type of function. So you can check this on Google as well. So basically this null and undefined, they're a kind of same thing, but the difference is that in null, we do not leave our variable as it is just by declaring it. We actually provide a meaningful value inside it that yes, right now it is null, but after some time we can just modify the value inside it. So it is a good practice that you define a variable whenever you are declaring it, but it's just not an hard and fast rule, so it entirely depends on you. Possible primitive data types, and these basic ones we have just gone through. The symbol one, I'll be telling you it in the different video in which I'll be discussing it with some proper examples and details, and also we will be learning the reference data types in the next video. So if you want to refer the document for these data types in JavaScript, I'll provide this MDN link in the description box below. You can just go and check it out there because all the data types and everything is mentioned out here very beautifully. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed learning this data types, and in the next video we will be learning about reference data types as well. So stay tuned, and if you like the content on the channel, please like, share and subscribe, and do hit the bell so that you don't miss out anything new from me. So see you in the next video.